Faintly, one could see that within the fireball, there seemed to be the shadow of a vermilion bird. From a distance, the fireball resembled an egg, inside which incredible transformations were taking place. As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the fireball, facing Du Qing, immediately began to twist. Soon, a face began to form on it. It was a cold, indifferent face, Wang Lin's face. Casting a cold glance at Du Qing, the Wang Lin that had manifested on the fireball slowly spoke. Only 3 origins. Thunder origin, emerge. As Wang Lin paused, a thunderous roar filled the heavens and earth. The lightning mark in his right eye shot out with a shriek, instantly transforming into a bolt of heavenly thunder, crashing down. At the moment the thunder appeared, the sky darkened. It seemed as if countless thunders were materializing and converging from all directions, all striking toward this spot. With each bolt of lightning came the might of the heavens and earth. In the process, a huge, illusory war chariot began to faintly appear. The chariot seemed to be made of bronze, but it was composed of lightning, with 6 massive bolts of lightning connecting to it, seemingly pulling the chariot forward. On the chariot stood a vague figure. The figure wore a cyan cloak, and its appearance was indistinct. This is the Thunder Emperor's chariot, created by the Thunder Origin. Such a change can only occur when the Thunder Origin is cultivated to an extremely deep level. This person not only possesses Fire Origin, but also Thunder Origin. Du Qing's expression tightened. He wasn't surprised that Wang Lin possessed 2 origins, but what shocked him was that the Thunder Origin had triggered a Thunder manifestation. Life and Death Origin, emerge. The face of Wang Lin, which had manifested on the massive fireball, spoke again. With those words, a wisp of white smoke descended from the thunder, and the earth trembled as a black mist emerged. The 2 forces, black and white, swirled together, forming a vortex that hovered in front of Wang Lin. The aura of life and death radiated from the vortex, spreading outward. Wang Lin had already tested that the void origin wouldn't be altered on the immortal Firmament continent. Now, with the appearance of the life and death origin, waves of vitality and death energy emanated from it, perfectly merging 2 incompatible auras into one. Void origin. This person, he, like me, has 2 real and 1 void. Du Qing's expression darkened. This was beyond his expectations. He had originally thought Wang Lin only possessed 1 real and 1 void. Is it because you're so arrogant that you possess 3 origins? But even with 3, Du Qing growled. But before he could finish, Wang Lin interrupted him forcefully. 3 origins. Cause and effect origin, truth and falsehood origin, come forth. Wang Lin's words caused Du Qing's face to change dramatically, his heart pounding in disbelief. He saw 2 massive vortices appearing before Wang Lin. One of the vortices rapidly shifted between the real and the illusory. Du Qing gazed at it, and felt as if his consciousness were being drawn into it, as though trapped in an illusion. The transformation was so intense that it took his breath away. The other vortex contained the essence of cause and effect, a complex and chaotic force. It seemed like a fog of confusion, as impossible to discern as the nature of cause and effect itself. 3 void origins. This person possesses such fate, able to attain 3 illusory origins. Du Qing's eyes widened in shock. He instinctively took several steps back. Even the fire and earth origins in his hands seemed to dim in comparison. 3 void, 2 real. What talent must this person possess to obtain 5 origins? Even in the Great Soul sect, I've never heard of such a thing. Du Qing thought back to his previous words, where 3 origins in his eyes seemed insignificant. But now, 5 origins was beyond comprehension. So what if it's 5 origins? Having many origins doesn't necessarily mean greater strength. Du Qing gritted his teeth, his shock lingering. 5 origins? Slaughter origin, come forth. The face of Wang Lin on the fireball split open at the brow, releasing an icy aura of slaughter that spread across the heavens. The killing intent was thick, and in an instant, red snowflakes began to fall from the sky, blanketing the earth in a snowy mantle. As the world grew cold and filled with killing energy, Du Qing stepped back again, his gaze on Wang Lin no longer one of shock, but of pure terror. Slaughter. Slaughter origin. It's actually slaughter origin. You actually possess slaughter origin. Du Qing nearly screamed. On the immortal Firmament continent, the slaughter origin was even rarer than the gravity origin. This type of origin, even if only one existed, was enough to dominate. The formation of the slaughter origin certainly meant that its wielder's hands were stained with the blood of countless lives. Du Qing believed that only after massacring many beings could such an origin appear. Damn it, he actually has slaughter origin. How many people has he killed? This is an unparalleled fiend. Seal origin, come forth. Wang Lin's words hit like a heavy punch, striking Du Qing and forcing him to retreat continuously, until he was tens of feet away. Du Qing saw bloodshot veins spreading across Wang Lin's pupils, which then transformed into several strands of blood that enveloped all directions, forming a seal. A burst of seal origin's aura erupted with a deafening force. 7 paths, not 6, 7. Du Qing staggered backward. As he stared at the 7 origins floating between him and Wang Lin, his scalp tingled, and his mind buzzed with shock. The shock Wang Lin had caused him was immense. But compared to before, this new shock left him even more stunned, even to the point of having an impulse to turn and flee immediately. 7 origins, countless powerful sect techniques, forcibly absorbing the earth fire vein, drawing upon thunder manifestation. Such a person must not be provoked. It wasn't that Du Qing's cultivation was lacking, but when facing Wang Lin, he had no idea just how many more terrifying surprises the man had in store. How many more nearly suffocating tricks did he still have up his sleeve? Especially those 2 strikes earlier, neither had inflicted any serious injury on Wang Lin. From Du Qing's judgment, even if Wang Lin's cultivation wasn't higher than his, it was certainly close. In this situation, added to Wang Lin's mysterious nature, Du Qing's cautious nature made him hesitate to fight. 7 origins, so what? Do you dare to come out and face me in battle? Du Qing gritted his teeth. Even if he wanted to flee, he had to say a few words to save face. Otherwise, this pursuit would be too humiliating. Do you truly want to fight? The face that Wang Lin had transformed into inside the fireball flashed with an eerie light. Just as he spoke, a terrifying aura suddenly exploded from the fireball. The pressure was overwhelming, and as it spread, Du Qing's fear escalated rapidly. Without thinking, he retreated wildly. Through his astonished eyes, he saw flashes of golden light flickering in the distorted face of Wang Lin within the fireball. The golden light shone like the sun, and deep within the light, a golden seal the size of a head slowly floated out of the fireball. As it appeared, the golden light surged, enveloping the entire world, emitting a pure, immortal bloodline aura. Even more terrifying was a secondary, soul-shaking presence that filled the air, an aura that made Du Qing's soul almost leave his body, leaving him in a state of complete shock. This aura, emanating from the golden seal, was faint but enough to split the heavens and earth. It was enough to drive anyone who sensed it or understood its meaning into a frenzy of fear. Gr. Grand Heavenly Venerable. Du Qing spat blood, his body rapidly retreating. The shock from this seal immediately injured his spirit. He recognized it at once. It was a divine technique from a Grand Heavenly Venerable, materialized into an artifact and condensed. The power of such a magical artifact was secondary. Its true function was to shock, to shake all living beings to their core. Not just him. If the Great Soul Sect, the Unity Sect, or any other powerful sect in Heavenly Bull Continent saw this golden seal and felt the aura of a Grand Heavenly Venerable, their minds would tremble, and terror would rise in their hearts. Because, once materialized by a Grand Heavenly Venerable, such an artifact would only remain intact if it was personally given to someone. If it changed owners, it would immediately collapse. This was common knowledge on the immortal Firmament continent. Moreover, this artifact, which should not even exist, only appeared because the 9 sons, the 9 Grand Heavenly Venerables, had materialized it. Such artifacts were typically given to the closest disciples of the Grand Heavenly Venerables, a way of publicly declaring, "Do not touch this person." With Du Qing's cultivation, he could not tell which Grand Heavenly Venerable the aura came from. In fact, He had never had the qualification to even see one of the 9 suns in all these years. But this aura, this terrifying presence, surpassed every strong aura he had ever encountered. Only a grand heavenly venerable could possess such power. Du Qing spat another mouthful of blood. As he retreated, he looked at Wang Lin with a gaze filled with resentment, roaring in fury. Damn it! If you have such an artifact, why didn't you use it earlier? If you had used it sooner, I wouldn't have chased after you. Even if you wiped out the entire Songlong sect, I'd pretend I didn't see it. You're pulling a fast one on me. This is too much. Even Wang Lin was stunned by Du Qing's reaction. He hadn't expected that this golden seal could have such a shocking power, enough to make Du Qing spit blood and retreat, forgetting his dignity and shouting those words. As the golden seal disappeared, the golden light dissipated across the sky. No parting gifts. Wang Lin retrieved the golden seal and slowly spoke. Until he watched the golden seal vanish, Du Qing let out a silent sigh of relief. He took a few steps back and was about to leave quickly. He had chased him all this way, being shaken several times by his opponent's power, and finally, the aura of the grand heavenly venerable from the golden seal had frightened him. By now, he had completely abandoned any thought of continuing the fight, wishing he could leave immediately. Such a scam. This is really too much. Du Qing muttered gloomily. After retreating 100 yards, his expression suddenly changed, and his steps halted as he glanced at Wang Lin, who was surrounded by a fireball. This person has an extremely deep background and possesses a magic weapon given by the Grand Heavenly Venerable. A person like this, to have encountered him, is my fortune. I was being foolish. How could I just leave like this? Through him, if I could get guidance from that Grand Heavenly Venerable, my cultivation would surely increase. And once I follow him, with such a background, why would I need to worry about the Great Soul sect anymore? I won't have to send all my treasures there right away. With this thought, Du Qing's gloom lifted, his face showing excitement and enthusiasm. That's right, this is the chance that countless cultivators dream of. If other sects on the Heavenly Bull continent knew that this person has a magic weapon gifted by a Grand Heavenly Venerable, they would go crazy for him. They would immediately invite him and treat him as a guest of honor, fulfilling all his requests. Du Qing's eyes gleamed, and he was filled with a sense of fate. Heaven is watching. My fortune has come. Right now, I might be the only one who knows his identity. I can't let anyone else know. All the benefits should be mine alone. I just don't know which Grand Heavenly Venerable is behind him. No matter who it is, it doesn't matter now. Though Du Qing's body was made of wood and had no heart, he could still vaguely feel his heart beating faster. Haha, what a tremendous fortune. This is a grand fortune. Du Qing's eyes shone brightly as he stared at the fireball where Wang Lin was. After taking a deep breath, he quickly cupped his hands and forced a smile on his face. It's a misunderstanding, fellow Taoist. This matter was a misunderstanding. I always thought that Songlong Sect's mountain gate was too dilapidated and wanted to destroy it and rebuild it. Just at this moment, fellow Taoist stepped in to help. I, Du Qing, am deeply grateful. The reason I chased you was actually to thank you. Du Qing spoke smoothly, without blinking an eye. Oh. Wang Lin glanced at Du Qing, his expression half smiling, as if he had seen through his thoughts. Fellow Taoist, you are now absorbing the flames, and this is a major matter. How could I leave? Don't worry, I will guard you. No one will step into this place even a single step. Du Qing, unfazed by Wang Lin's gaze, quickly raised his right hand, pointing to the sky with an extremely serious expression. By the immortal astral law above, I, Du Qing, will guard fellow Taoists today. If I have even the slightest malicious intent, let heavenly thunder strike me down, my Tao lineage crumble, and my soul disperse. As he spoke, a red symbol appeared on Du Qing's right hand. The symbol glowed, containing Du Qing's vow, which turned into a red beam and shot into the sky, vanishing without a trace. This was the oath sigil from the immortal Firmament continent. Once used, very few people failed to abide by it. The immortal astral law in the heavens acted as a witness. Very well, since you are sincere, I will give you the opportunity to guard me, Wang Lin said, his gaze meaningful. Du Qing's spirits were immediately lifted upon hearing Wang Lin's words. His greatest concern had been the previous misunderstanding, which might have made Wang Lin cautious and disgusted with him. If that were the case, he would never have a chance to approach Wang Lin again, and he could forget about obtaining any fortune. Now, hearing that Wang Lin had agreed to let him guard him, Du Qing quickly composed himself, his face serious, and he nodded toward Wang Lin. Rest assured, fellow Taoist, I will risk my life to ensure your safety. With that, he stepped back several times, appearing hundreds of yards away, sitting cross-legged in the sky. His divine sense spread out in all directions, but the space around Wang Lin was devoid of Du Qing's presence, clearly done on purpose to ease Wang Lin's mind. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged. Du Qing's thoughts were not hidden, but clearly revealed. Wang Lin could naturally tell that this person was intimidated by the golden seal and was now eager to flatter him. His true intention was to gain favor with the grand heavenly venerable who had made the golden seal. Fine, this works. I've just arrived on the immortal Firmament continent, and there are still many things that soul-searching can't reveal. I need someone like him around, and he has come to me willingly, not because I asked. That way, if he wants something, I'll be the one in control. Wang Lin sneered inwardly, then closed his eyes. His face slowly disappeared from the giant fireball, vanishing without a trace. Du Qing adhered strictly to his vow, vigilantly watching everything around him. His mind was already made up. He would seize this opportunity to prove himself and make up for the earlier unpleasantness. Time slowly passed, and 3 days went by in the blink of an eye. Over the past 3 days, Wang Lin had sent out a sliver of his divine sense to keep watch on Du Qing, while his body rapidly absorbed the fire origin within the fireball. This fireball was formed from a branch vein. It wasn't a main branch, so its absorption was naturally slow. Moreover, it contained the overwhelming power of fire origin, with a faint trace of a law within. This law was the will of fire. Wang Lin wasn't just consuming the fire origin, he was also absorbing its will. 16 fire dragons swirled around the fireball. Over the course of these 3 days, one by one, they were consumed by the fireball. Gradually, a will of fire began to emanate from it. Du Qing was the first to sense this change. His expression shifted slightly, and he turned his gaze toward the fireball without speaking. On the morning of the 5th day, as the sun rose, beams of light spread across the land, dispelling the darkness. In that instant, the fireball where Wang Lin was located erupted with an earth-shattering roar. The sound was deafening, a constant roar that grew louder and louder. The fireball rapidly shrank, and in the blink of an eye, it had reduced to a size of just 10 zhang. Within it, the flames twisted, and though the fire was murky, Wang Lin's silhouette could still be faintly seen. Around him, a vermilion bird seemed to whirl. The eerie cries of the vermilion bird echoed from the fireball, reverberating through the heavens and earth. As the cries rang out, the fireball shrank once again. This time, the contraction was slower, taking several hours, before it finally reduced to 7 zhang in size. Yet within this 7 zhang fireball, a will of fire erupted with an immense force, as if it was contending with the will of the earth fire vein beneath the land. It felt as if 2 different wills of fire were now present on the heavenly bull continent. One was the earth fire vein's inherent will, and the other, the one Du Qing observed, emanated from the 7 zhang fireball. No wonder he was bestowed a magical artifact by the grand heavenly venerable. His fire origin can actually resist the will of the earth fire here. Du Qing muttered as he gazed at the fireball, taking a deep breath. Suddenly, the fireball erupted again with a violent roar. It rapidly contracted from 7 zhang to 3 zhang. Within the fireball, Wang Lin's figure flickered, and he walked out of the fireball. His white hair fluttered as he stood beside the fireball, sat down cross-legged, and with a solemn expression, he made a gesture and pointed at the fireball. Upon his gesture, the vermilion bird within the fireball let out a deafening cry. The fireball once again began to shrink, and gradually, it reduced to just 1 zhang in size. Inside this 1 zhang fireball, a smaller vermilion bird could be seen spinning rapidly, and the cries of the vermilion bird echoed continuously. At the sight of this, Du Qing's eyes gleamed with astonishment. As he stared at the 1 zhang fireball, a thought suddenly appeared in his mind. This vermilion bird must be his fire origin avatar. He is channeling all the origin power of the earth fire vein into this vermilion bird's body. Could it be that he's trying to? Du Qing's eyes widened, shock filling his expression. Could he be attempting to form his primordial origin avatar? Du Qing gasped, his shock deepening. The appearance of the origin avatar will allow a cultivator to break through to the third step of the void realm. With the power of the origin, one can absorb the vastness of the world and be invincible in battle. Generally, material origin is easier to obtain, but to reach the profound void stage, one must comprehend the changes of the void origin personally. The more origin one possesses, the stronger they become. This is common knowledge among cultivators on the immortal Firmament continent. Moreover, there are layers to the origin. From its initial appearance to the formation of an origin artifact, and ultimately to its completion, one must pass through each stage. There are even legends of prodigies who can expand their origin after reaching perfection, ultimately forming a primordial origin avatar. Such avatars are rare, and once one appears, it is incredibly powerful. In my life, I have only seen the soul origin avatar once, on the ancestor of the Great Soul sect. I've never seen another. Could it be that Wang Dao has truly formed his primordial origin avatar? Du Qing stared at Wang Lin in disbelief. On the immortal Firmament continent, the Dao ancient lineage occupied 12 of the 36 counties of the ancient kingdom. In the Sky Commandery, the royal family of the Dao ancient lineage resided. In the Sky Commandery, there was a place filled with lush mountains and flowing rivers. Leaves fluttered in the wind, and the sound of rushing water echoed pleasantly. Amidst the falling leaves, a towering cyan altar could be faintly seen. This altar exuded an ancient aura, and on it sat a young man in black robes, meditating. Though he appeared youthful, he gave off an impression of having lived for an eternity. This man was Xianluo. The moment Wang Lin took out the golden seal on the heavenly bull continent, Xianluo, who had been in seclusion, suddenly opened his eyes. He's here. A smile appeared on Xianluo's face as he spoke. He knew that the disciple he had chosen would not perish in the void. He would indeed come to the immortal Firmament continent. Just like the several grand heavenly venerables of the immortal clan would inevitably be driven away or even besieged if they kept coming to the ancient kingdom. During his previous journey with the immortal clan, although Xianluo had left, he still bore some injuries. Thus, he entered seclusion, with another reason for his retreat being his regret over not being able to wait for Wang Lin's return. Now that his heart's ailment had been cured, his injuries were no longer a concern. Wang Lin, my disciple, the immortal Firmament continent is your home, and the Dao ancient lineage is your birthplace. I will wait here for your return. A kind smile appeared on Xianluo's face as he slowly closed his eyes, entering a state of deep meditation. In the heavenly bull continent, in the protective area of Du Qing, Wang Lin sat cross-legged beside a fireball, his hands constantly forming seals. One after another, marks were formed and infused into the fireball, causing the vermilion bird within to become clearer, its screech growing louder. Primordial true body, condense. After several hours, the vermilion bird in the fireball spun faster, and just as the wool emanating from the fireball became clearer, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and let out a low shout. The moment his shout reached Du Qing's ears, it sounded like thunder, causing him to jump to his feet, eyes wide with disbelief. Is it really the true body? He is truly condensing the primordial true body. As soon as Wang Lin spoke, the fireball, which was about 1 yard in diameter, suddenly exploded with a loud bang. The vermilion bird that had been spinning inside the fireball froze, and as it came to a stop, a large number of feathers at the tail of the bird ignited. Red light flashed, and it seemed to transform into the shape of human-like legs. It appeared as though the true body was slowly condensing. This scene, witnessed by Du Qing with his own eyes, left him stunned. His gaze froze, as he had never before seen the condensation of a primordial true body. This was an incredibly rare sight, one that could greatly benefit his future cultivation and open up a path for him. What had once been unclear was now becoming more and more evident. The true body. This is the true body. I've seen this process, and witnessing such a thing is extremely rare in this world. I, Du Qing, have seen it. Du Qing's eyes gleamed with excitement. His cultivation had not yet reached the early void cataclysm stage, and he was still in the midst of his 7 profound tribulations. He dared not face the 8th or 9th profound tribulations yet, as he wasn't confident he could overcome them. But what he had just witnessed greatly assisted the transformation of his own origin. Though the scene seemed simple, the pressure Wang Lin was bearing was immense. Sweat formed on his forehead, and as soon as it appeared, it evaporated into mist that surrounded his body, making him appear as though he were cloaked in fog. His fire origin was not nearly enough to condense a primordial true body, but by absorbing the 16 branch veins of the heavenly bull continent, devouring a child vein earth fire soul, and especially absorbing the will of fire within the child vein soul, Wang Lin's fire origin had developed its own will. This will now competed with the fire of the heavenly bull continent for control of the world's fire. These transformations and expansions gave Wang Lin the idea of condensing his primordial true body, but the process was incredibly difficult. At this moment, despite pushing himself to the limit, he could only manage to condense the legs of the true body. The fireball, as time passed, gradually dimmed. The flames showed signs of extinguishing, and the vermilion bird inside, now possessing a true body's limbs, stood motionless. Yet, its withering process could be seen with the naked eye, the bird slowly wilting. This was due to the fire origin not being strong enough. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with determination, and his body swayed as he shot downward, landing on the mountain peak below. His right hand raised and pressed firmly against the ground. With this press, Wang Lin's divine sense surged from his right hand, spreading into the earth and expanding outward, rapidly covering thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of miles, until it reached infinity. This was Wang Lin's first time in the immortal firmament continent to spread his divine sense so wildly, covering such a vast range. But even with such an immense coverage, his divine sense barely reached 1/10 of the entirety of the heavenly bull continent, perhaps even less than half of that. Yet, this range was already infinitely close to the size of the entire cave mansion realm. Within this range, there were 172 earth-fire branch veins, as well as 2 earth-fire child veins. 172 earth-fire branch vein souls, come to me. Wang Lin roared to the sky, and with a violent motion, his right hand lifted from the ground. As his hand rose, the world shook. The ground trembled, and all the earth-fire branch veins within the range of his divine sense began to tremble as well. From a higher vantage point, if observed with immense divine power, one could clearly see that mountains crumbled, earth-fire branch vein dragon souls howled, and in the rare plains, cracks formed. Lava erupted, and dragon souls burst forth. Rivers dried up instantly, and their channels cracked open, collapsing as dragon souls soared into the sky. From all directions, across an immeasurable range of land, a total of 172 earth-fire branch vein dragon souls erupted in a thunderous roar, charging out into the sky. Their bodies were invisible to ordinary cultivators, only perceptible to a few with great abilities. At this moment, the 172 dragon souls roared, as if pulled by an immense force, rushing from every direction toward Wang Lin's location. The dragons danced wildly, their speed far surpassing that of cultivators, moving as if using the shrinking earth technique, appearing directly in the sky above Wang Lin and Du Qing. Du Qing stood motionless, his gaze fixed on the scene, seemingly forgetting to breathe. He saw the ferocious roars of the dragon souls, seemingly resisting, yet ultimately unable to escape the will of fire that manifested from the void, and were forced toward the fireball above Wang Lin, which was on the verge of extinguishing. Under the control of this will, they charged forward with a resounding crash. This will belonged to Wang Lin, acquired after absorbing the child vein, representing his fire origin. Except for the main branch, all other sub-branches and child veins were controlled by this will. The booming sounds were deafening, and the 172 earth-fire dragon souls surged into a 1-foot fireball, causing it to ignite in a blazing inferno. Within it, the vermilion bird's true form took shape, its legs manifesting as it let out another earth-shattering screech. The screech was filled with joy, rapidly absorbing the fire origin power from the 172 dragon souls. As it absorbed, The bird's wings slowly transformed into fiery arms marked with flame sigils. Its limbs formed, with just the torso and head remaining. Wang Lin's fire origin true body would soon fully materialize. Du Qing staggered back, feeling the immense difficulty in forming such a body. The overwhelming fire origin power had yet to completely solidify the true form. This sight filled him with terror. No wonder the origin true body is so rare. The difficulty of forming such a body is immense, and the further you go, the harder it gets. Only in this way can the awe-inspiring power of the origin true body be revealed. This person has 7 origins. If he manages to condense all 7 origins into a true body. Du Qing gasped, unable to imagine the consequences. On the mountain peak, Wang Lin gasped for breath. He looked up at the 1-foot fireball, within which the vermilion bird had formed its limbs, yet it was still far from complete. 2 child vein dragon souls, withdraw. Wang Lin gritted his teeth, pressing both hands to the ground. With this push, the earth surged like waves, sending out a tremendous roar. At the same time, within the range of his divine sense, 2 powerful roars emanated from different directions. To the east of Wang Lin, a snow-capped mountain that had been frozen for tens of thousands of years began to tremble. The snow melted instantly, forming waves like the sea, rushing toward the land. Yet before they could flow too far, a magnetic sound rang out, and a cloud of white vapor rose into the sky. Within it, a dragon soul from the earth fire child vein materialized, roaring toward the distant Wang Lin. To the west of Wang Lin, a vast inland sea lay surrounded by the heavenly bull continent. The sea roared as it swirled into a massive vortex. Deep beneath the sea, a mountain range shaped like a dragon trembled. The mountain quaked, and a soul force emanated from it, drawing in countless waters to form a sea dragon that burst from the ocean. This sea dragon appeared unrelated to fire, yet every drop of water within it contained infinite fire origin power. As the sea dragon soared, its body trembled, and the blue water instantly turned red, transforming into fiery magma. This fiery magma dragon roared, heading straight for Wang Lin's domain. Though the events unfolded slowly, they actually happened in an instant. As Wang Lin lifted his hands from the earth, 2 resounding roars echoed from both directions, and the child vein dragon souls howled toward him. The sky seemed to burn, leaving 2 long trails in their wake. The ferocity of the dragon souls caused Du Qing's face to change dramatically. Wang Lin looked up, his eyes gleaming with determination. He leaped into the air, heading straight for the magma sea dragon. Du Qing, here's your chance. Restrict 1 dragon soul for half an hour. Wang Lin shouted as he charged toward the magma sea dragon. Du Qing's expression changed repeatedly. With a clenched jaw, he leaped into the air, his body surrounded by violet light, transforming into a wooden form as he approached the other child vein dragon soul. This person was cautious and unpredictable, willing to bend when necessary to achieve his goals. Now, in order to flatter Wang Lin, he released his most powerful technique. A flash of violet light appeared within his body, and the will of gravity origin expanded outward. The dragon soul roared as it neared Du Qing. Its entire body suddenly trembled, as though it had been burdened with countless times its own weight. With a shrill, agonized scream, it crashed from the heavens and slammed into the earth. Though it struggled and roared furiously, it could not break free. As the branch vein dragon soul bellowed, flames inside Du Qing surged out of control, spreading wildly through his body as if they intended to devour him from within. Catching this scene with the corner of his eye, Wang Lin gained a new understanding of Du Qing's gravity origin. Without giving Du Qing any further attention, aside from keeping a thread of divine sense alert, he focused all his will on the blazing magma fire dragon rushing toward him. The branch vein fire dragon radiated intense heat. As it advanced, its body rubbed against the aura of heaven and earth, igniting waves of rolling black smoke. To the eye, it no longer resembled a mere fire dragon soul, but rather a monstrous, immortal astral demon dragon. The instant this smoke-shrouded dragon charged at him, Wang Lin's white hair streamed behind him. He stepped forward, lifted his right hand, and formed a seal. With a wave, a flash of blood-red light erupted, his blood sword appeared from thin air, transforming into a blade of heaven-cleaving crimson radiance that slashed down upon the branch-veined fire dragon soul. Heaven and earth changed color. A thunderous roar shook the air as the blood sword collided with the fire dragon soul. Screeching in pain, the beast recoiled, desperate to avoid the strike. But the sword's power was overwhelming. Before the dragon could retreat, the blade swept across its body, severing a portion with a piercing scream. The impact resounded across the skies. Reeling backward, the wounded dragon retreated again and again. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with cold light. This was the critical moment in forming his primordial origin avatar. Without hesitation, he stepped forward, reached out with his left hand, and seized the severed fragment of the dragon's body. With a casual toss, he hurled it into the blazing Wenzhong fireball. The fireball devoured the fragment instantly. Flames roared violently, and within them, the primordial origin avatar, already sprouting limbs, showed clear signs of condensing a full body. Wang Lin moved like lightning, traversing 1,000 feet in a flash to appear above the retreating branch-veined dragon soul. His movements flowed effortlessly, though unlike Qing he could not suppress a dragon soul with mere origin alone. His sword strike had been equally devastating. Hovering above the fire dragon soul, Wang Lin abruptly raised his right hand. From his palm, golden light burst forth in 10,000 rays. The brilliance struck Qing from afar, leaving him shaken to the core. In his pupils, he saw it clearly. Wang Lin now held the golden seal, wrapped in dazzling radiance. The moment the golden seal appeared, even Qing froze in awe. As for the dragon's soul, its vicious eyes filled with terror. It had never come here willingly. It had been dragged by Wang Lin's soul extraction. Now, at the sight of the golden seal, its first instinct was to flee. In an instant, its massive form blurred into a streak and shot away tens of thousands of feet, vanishing into a distant speck. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He extended a finger toward the fleeing dragon. At once, the golden seal whistled through the air, blazing with fierce light as it streaked toward the distance. Without bothering to see the outcome, Wang Lin turned toward the other fire dragon that Qing had been suppressing. But just as he turned, a deafening boom shook the earth. The golden seal flashed back through the sky, hovering at Wang Lin's side. Within its glow was the dragon's soul, shrunken countless times over, struggling and howling in despair. The sight left Qing's heart pounding. No wonder. It's truly a magical artifact crafted by a grand heavenly venerable. Such power. And judging by his expression, he hasn't even unleashed its full strength. Blinking rapidly, Qing forced a smile and clasped his fists toward Wang Lin. Congratulations, Taoist friend, on obtaining 2 branch-veined dragon souls. With them, your primordial origin avatar should soon be fully complete. Wang Lin only shook his head, saying nothing. He raised the golden seal, releasing the captured dragon soul. Wrapped in golden radiance, it was drawn straight into the Wenzhong fireball. The fireball absorbed the entire branch-veined dragon soul. Flames roared skyward as the primordial origin avatar, now with fully formed limbs, began condensing a complete body before his eyes. Yet halfway through, the fireball's light dimmed, flames flickering as though about to extinguish. Wang Lin frowned, casting a glance at Qing. Qing, sharp as ever, immediately understood. He raised his hand and pointed at the dragon's soul he had suppressed. With a furious howl, the struggling branch-veined dragon soul was dragged into the fireball. At the moment of contact, the fireball erupted with a powerful suction, greedily drawing out every last wisp of flame origin. Under its anguished cries, the dragon finally dissipated, consumed entirely. Now strengthened by yet another branch-veined dragon soul, the fireball blazed once more. Inside, Wang Lin's primordial origin avatar swiftly condensed its body. Within half a stick of incense, the form stood complete at last. At this moment, the primordial true body inside the fireball had limbs and a body, but its head still resembled the vermilion bird, making it appear somewhat bizarre. However, the power of the flames had reached its limit. The 1-meter fireball suddenly shattered, turning into countless sparks that once again entered the incompletely transformed primordial true body. With the collapse of the fireball An overwhelming aura pressure spread from this partially formed primordial true body, enveloping the surroundings. Du Qing, not far away, was swept by this aura and felt a chill run through him. Even with his cultivation, he had an impulse to retreat, which was enough to demonstrate the true power of this primordial true body. This isn't even a complete true body, yet it has such pressure. Once it's fully formed, Du Qing took a deep breath, his eyes filled with longing. He too wanted to condense his own primordial true body. 188 branch veins, 3 subvein dragon souls, and still, I can't fully condense a primordial true body. The difficulty of forming this true body is truly immense. Given the resources in the cave mansion realm, it's impossible to complete it, not even one. Wang Lin sighed deeply, contemplating the difficulty of forming a primordial true body. The more you go forward, the more fire origin is required. Just the head alone. I wonder how much flame is needed to condense it. Wang Lin murmured. The incomplete fire primordial true body took a step forward and turned into a sea of flames, merging into Wang Lin's left eye. In that instant, Wang Lin's left eye underwent an astonishing change. The familiar flame mark was gone, replaced by double pupils. The double pupils exuded an eerie, otherworldly aura. After moving his head slightly, Wang Lin stepped forward. The moment his body moved, a shadow appeared behind him, seemingly in sync with his movements, though its features were unclear. The sudden change caused Du Qing to gasp in surprise. Could this be the transformation that happens after the primordial true body manifests? Shadow follows the body. I once saw the grand ancestor of the Great Soul sect do this. Whenever he appeared, a shadow always followed him, no matter where he went. Especially when performing divine abilities, Du Qing thought in shock. Wang Lin furrowed his brow, sensing the change in his body after the primordial true body's formation. After a brief pause, the shadow behind him slowly faded and eventually disappeared, no longer reappearing. Let's go to Canglong sect. I need to stay there for a while, Wang Lin said, glancing at Du Qing. Upon hearing this, Du Qing was immediately energized, his face breaking into a smile as he cupped his hands and said, "It would be my honor, Dao friend Wang. Rest assured, I will deploy all my disciples to search for the Earth Fire Dragon vein. I'll also have the sect elders move to extract the dragon soul and bring it back for you to cultivate with." Wang Lin showed no sign of joy or anger, nodding slowly. The two of them turned into streaks of light, flying far into the distance. Behind them, the Earth Fire Child vein gradually withered beneath the mountains. In the Heavenly Bull continent, 2 streaks of light streaked across the sky at incredible speed. Du Qing, with his profound cultivation, was naturally much faster than Wang Lin. As they moved forward, Du Qing glanced at Wang Lin with his peripheral vision, a different thought forming in his mind. What is his cultivation level? He seems to be at the peak ethereal stage, but he was able to handle 2 of my divine abilities without exerting full strength. Cultivation can be concealed, but speed is also a good indicator of cultivation. Let's see how fast he can go. Du Qing maintained his composure, gradually increasing his speed. As he did, he subtly pulled ahead of Wang Lin, widening the gap between them. It shouldn't be too obvious, just enough to notice. After all, I still need to rely on him to contact the Grand Heavenly Venerable. Du Qing was cautious and decided to slow down when it appeared that Wang Lin couldn't increase his speed any further. However, just as he was about to ease up, his pupils suddenly contracted. Wang Lin's cold gaze locked onto Du Qing's eyes. At the same time, Wang Lin raised his right hand and waved it forward. Instantly, a cloud of black mist spread from his hand, and in that moment, a sharp, ear-piercing screech echoed from within the mist. The screech was not only deafening, but also had a shocking effect on the mind. Du Qing, who was not far away, felt his heart tremble upon hearing the sound, almost as if his body was on the verge of collapsing. It felt as though an unearthly, murderous flame was about to tear his body apart. What fierce beast is that? Du Qing's expression suddenly changed. From within the black mist, the Mosquito King flashed into view. Its grotesque appearance, enormous mandibles, and massive, mountain-like body, along with its entire black body covered in sharp spikes, instantly sent a chill down Du Qing's spine. Dao friend Du, you're too slow. Keep up. Wang Lin spoke calmly, stepping forward and onto the Mosquito King. The Mosquito King's body shot forward, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Its speed was so fast that Du Qing was once again left in awe.